So everyone is always going on and on about the skin barrier. You have a damaged skin barrier, how to heal the barrier, skincare products for an impaired skin barrier. What the heck is going on? All right, if you're new here, I'm a board certified dermatologist. In this video, we're going to be talking about what exactly is the skin barrier and importantly, why you should care about it. If you feel as though you have tried all of the skincare products, you've tried to stick with a routine, but your skin still is dry, irritated, flaky, you're dealing with breakouts, your skin just doesn't quite seem to yield to the skincare routines that everyone swears by, well, there's a possibility that you may be dealing with an impaired skin barrier. In this video, not only am I going to explain what the skin barrier is, I'm going to be highlighting some key warning signs that you have an impaired barrier. I'm going to be pointing to those things that compromise barrier integrity, and I'm going to be giving you tips and tricks on how to address and care for your skin barrier. And spoiler alert, you don't need a shelf full of skincare products to do this. Friendly reminder, skincare products are not the cause of all skin problems, nor are they the solution for all skin problems. Of course, they can play a role, and we'll highlight that here. Starting off, what is the skin barrier? Think of your skin like a brick wall. The skin cells are the bricks, and they're surrounded by fats or lipids that are the mortar holding them together. This structure makes up the outermost layer of your epidermis. It's called the stratum corneum. The cells are not actually even alive at that point, but the skin barrier is your body's first line of defense against the outside world. It keeps the good stuff in, like moisture, and the bad stuff out, like irritants and infectious microorganisms. When the skin barrier is healthy, your skin feels soft, smooth, hydrated, supple, and it's resilient. And if it's damaged, you might start noticing a whole host of skin issues, which we're going to get into. How do you actually know if you have a damaged skin barrier? It can be challenging, honestly. Some common signs are dryness, flaking, redness and inflammation, stinging or burning sensation, especially when you apply skincare products, increased sensitivity, overall itchiness, and you may start having more breakouts that don't seem to respond to any topical. When the skin barrier is impaired, your skin is just a lot more vulnerable to pretty much everything, from allergens, bacteria, and harsh weather conditions. It's not just about the discomfort though. A weakened skin barrier can make many skin conditions worse, and many skin conditions not only are aggravated by an impaired skin barrier, but to a certain extent, as it relates to just having the condition in your genetic makeup, you have a impaired barrier at baseline. Maybe your skin is deficient in certain key lipids necessary for the mortar. Your skin just doesn't quite make the levels of, say, ceramides that other people do. Or as it relates to age, some of those components decline in production. Conditions like atopic dermatitis, rosacea, acne, and contact dermatitis all can be aggravated by impaired barrier function. It's almost like your skin loses its ability to act as a proper shield from the outside world, and it kind of goes into panic mode. So why exactly would the skin barrier become damaged in the first place? Like, this just seems like, is that even a legit entity? Let's walk through some of the biggest culprits. Number one is overcleansing, or using harsh soaps. These strip away some of the natural lipids in the outermost layer and make the skin more vulnerable to water loss. Number two are environmental aggressors, like humidity and heat, cold weather, harsh winds, pollution, and of course sun exposure. Ultraviolet radiation from the sun is a big contributing factor to an impaired barrier because it actually disrupts and damages some of the lipids needed for good barrier integrity. And the UV rays weaken your skin's integrity as well as the circulating immune system. It has an immunosuppressive effect there. Stress, lack of sleep, and poor nutrition, you guessed it, impaired barrier. Overexfoliating, using too many exfoliating products, layering multiple exfoliants, using both chemical exfoliants and mechanical exfoliants, multiple, and using them multiple times a day. Yeah, that can really do a number on the barrier. And remember, rubbing your skin with a towel or a washcloth is a form of mechanical exfoliation. Dragging a razor blade across your skin to shave the hair is a form of mechanical exfoliation. So you need to be mindful of those things because they do add up. Here's the big one that a lot of people don't realize. It's actually prolonged and repeat contact with water. Think washing dishes by hand or just washing your hands more frequently, as we often do in the colder winter months. Not just water, but sweat. The combination of moisture trapped on the skin with friction is a recipe for rapid compromise of skin barrier integrity. Think of diaper rash. You have trapping of moisture under a diaper plus friction, delicate skin to begin with, hello, a baby, and all of a sudden the barrier is significantly impaired. You get colonization of the skin with candida yeast and you get a a diaper rash. It's not just babies who deal with this type of skin barrier issue. Adults can deal with a very similar process in body fold sites, like under the breasts in women, the abdominal folds, under the arms. This is known as an intertrigo. It is the classic example of what an impaired skin barrier can lead to, and the factors that really put a lot of pressure on the barrier to give out. Friction, moisture trapping, and delicate skin to begin with, like under the arms. Not only are people unaware of things like moisture and sweat compromising barrier integrity, but sometimes they don't realize all of the exfoliating steps they're doing on top of things like external contactants that compromise the barrier. And so they're doing multiple things that ultimately are just way too much and erode at the protective barrier. Okay, so how can you actually protect and repair your skin barrier? Do you need to go out and buy a bunch of stuff? No. When it comes to cleansing, make sure you're using a gentle facial cleanser and really assess, do I actually need to be washing my face twice a day? Because some people really do. Like, they wake up in the morning, they make a lot of sebum, their face is already oily, and they benefit from washing their face. Whereas other people, especially if you're in the throes of experiencing heightened sensitivity, flushing the cheeks, burning, stinging, really consider not washing your face first thing in the morning, because that added water contact plus cleanser is just another thing that kind of says, hey, skin barrier, I see you trying to get back on track. Let's take it a step back. And it can be too much for some people. Moisturize. Moisturizers not only can help with barrier integrity, they help to reduce water loss, which ultimately allows the barrier to maintain itself better. But moisturizers are very helpful when you actually do have an impaired skin barrier for allowing it to heal and recover. I suggest a fragrance-free moisturizer. I'll list some down below in the description box. Importantly, wear sunscreen every single day to protect from those barrier-damaging UV rays, but also, friendly reminder, sunscreen, it's moisturizer. If you are considering introducing actives into your routine, like retinol or exfoliating acids, do so carefully, slowly, and assess your overall routine to make sure you're not double stacking, exfoliating on top of exfoliating on top of exfoliating, and you end up in a situation where you have too much dryness, peeling, and irritation. And when you are doing wet work, say you are washing dishes by hand, make sure you wear gloves. Anytime you wash your hands, try and apply a moisturizer on over. Your hands, the skin barrier on your hands, it's got a lot, quite a bit. And you know, the skin on the hands is some of the first territory for the visible signs of aging to show up. And so moisturizing your hands, it really can protect the barrier there and help prevent not only dryness and hand eczemas, but really allow your hand skin barrier to protect you as it needs to, because we're always touching stuff and doing things with our hands. Here's what not to do. Don't over exfoliate. There's so much pressure on the internet to buy all of these exfoliants, to use all of these exfoliating products. Like, if you go on TikTok, there are these over-the-top shower routines where it's like sequentially body washing, scrubbing, mechanical exfoliating with sugar scrubs, shaving, exfoliants pre-shave. That is a lot. That is a lot. Not to mention the prolonged water exposure in the shower, the hot water in particular by itself. The longer you're in the shower, the more kind of taxing it is on the skin barrier. Yeah, it's really a recipe for dryness, irritation, and significant itch, which then leads you to scratch, which further compromises the skin barrier. So be really, strategic with all of that. Here's a pro tip of what not to do that always shocks people, but I'm telling you, it can save your hands. When you wash your hands, take off your rings, because your rings can trap both water and the hand soap under the ring, especially that little recess under the ring, you know what I mean? That's kind of got like a groove, can trap the cleanser and some water, and they keep the skin that's right under the ring on your finger damp. So you have moisture, you have cleanser residue, and you have the friction of the ring. So if you leave it like that, that area is not going to get dry, it's not going to get rinsed with the cleanser properly, and it's going to cause friction there, break down the barrier even further, and that can really be a big driving factor for hand eczema, which is essentially a really impaired skin barrier on your hands. And don't ignore your skin. You know, it gives you clues, and so don't just try and plow through with a 10-step skincare routine. All right, Pay attention. Things burn, sting, maybe back off, okay? Some things are gonna sting naturally, like for example, certain exfoliating acids, alpha hydroxy acids, they can sting. Urea, it can sting. Doesn't necessarily mean you have an impaired skin barrier, but if all of a sudden your moisturizer stings quite a bit and it never did before, that might be a clue that things have changed in terms of barrier integrity. And honestly, let's not forget about those lifestyle factors. Hydration, healthy diet, getting good quality sleep, these all have a huge impact on your total body health and your skin's ability to heal, to recover, and to keep the barrier on track for optimal skin barrier integrity. When should you see a dermatologist? Like, is this something that you should just go at it alone? No. If your skin is constantly inflamed, peeling, you're breaking out, no matter what you do, that is an indication that you should probably see a dermatologist. Sometimes people develop an impaired skin barrier because they're actually having an allergic reaction to something that they're coming in contact with, and a dermatologist can help you figure out what that ingredient is by virtue of something known as patch testing. You could also be dealing with some complex primary skin condition like atopic dermatitis, rosacea, acne, seborrheic dermatitis. Not only can a dermatologist properly diagnose you, but they can lead you in the right direction as to how to correct the issue. So to recap, your skin barrier is your skin's natural defense system. When it's healthy, your skin thrives, but when it's damaged or impaired, your skin can go downhill. That can happen fast. But the good news is, with the right care, you can get your skin barrier back on track. It absolutely can be restored. So let me know in the comments if this is something you have ever dealt with before. Now, on the end slide, I am going to link a video that I did a couple of months ago at this point on my top Korean moisturizers for sensitive skin. Check that out because those are some fantastic moisturizers for the skin barrier, for addressing the needs of the barrier, and for helping to get your barrier back on track. But if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.